Hey guys, it's Jonathan here, and we are back with iRacing Arcade. So this game has just released today. We're getting a first look at it, really a second look at it, as I did the first season of the career mode. Now there are some features of the game that right off the bat make me think that this game is just not complete. And one of those features, or lack thereof, is the ability to restart a career mode. So I did season 1, I felt like it was a pretty good introduction, but I could not figure out, unfortunately, how to restart the career. So, with that in mind, we'll go ahead and begin with Season 2. We've got the IMSA Pilot Challenge, the Endurance Series, or the Fiat 500 Regular Series. Honestly, I really don't know which one I want to do, but let's go on and start with the Fiat, since the races are shorter. Alright, so we have upgraded a few things with our facilities. We have an R&D facility, we have a engine shop and a chassis shop as well, so we do get these extra boosts. Now, what I think is going to be very valuable is this comeback feature, and then our car setup feature, the +5 grip. The reinforced parts doesn't seem too necessary for a 3-lap race. Let's go ahead and hit the grid with our Fiat 500. We'll start from the back for round 1, of course, all the way back here in 12th. And we'll go ahead and see how we do in this championship. So lights out and away we go. We get a really good launch. It must be that +5 grip that's doing all the talking. And now we can see as well when that engine boost kicks in when we get overtaken. So that's a nice little feature to see. With these only being 3-lap races, we won't have to worry about the tires or the fuel, but there are some endurance races that we can try and some of these other championships. But as we go down this straight, you'll see how much of a factor Slipstream is. Slipstream is your one real true power-up, no matter what. I mean, Slipstream is what makes the racing go round here in iRacing Arcade. And as we go into turn 1, I mean, contact is going to be aplenty. Mark running right into the back of us. The AI absolutely do run you over, which is fair because I run them over as well. So what goes around comes around. We're up to 6th. I'm just fighting for a little bit of track position with Maciella. We get past Tane. We'll go ahead and slot in and do a little bit of bump drafting. And going into this final corner to the inside. And throw a block on Tane. We're up to 4th for the final lap. Can we get onto the podium? Leah runs wide. Mark once again giving us a shove through the corner. And we're in a perfect position here to win this race. We're in a perfect position. Elaine and Satoru, battling very hard. Maybe we're a little far back from Elaine, but can we get second? No? Side by side through the final corner? Oh my goodness, 3 wide at the line, and it is going to be 3rd. Oh my goodness, right at the line. What a finish. 3rd place, no penalties. And they do have all of these cutscenes as well, which are pretty neat, and they show, of course, the gaps. So we did miss out on the win by 1/10 of a second, and it looks like 1/100th of a second basically on 2nd place to Elaine. So P3 to start us off in the standings, and there's our little podium celebration. So round 1, P3, not bad. All right, so it looks like we can do both. Never mind, I thought we had to choose. All right, cool. So we get to do both. So we'll go to the IMSA Pilot Challenge at Sachsenring. Now we do have to rent a vehicle for this race. So that'll kind of reduce some of our profits. But as we pull up to Sachsenring. All right, so we are all the way back here in 12th for a 12-lap race around Sachsenring with the BMW GT4 looking car. So it's very important that we get a good start to the race and hopefully can keep up with the field through the second half of the lap, because that is where Slipstream is really important. It's all flat out through there. And we have no power-ups, so it's just a good old car and driver around here. And this is a very technical first half of the lap. And then, yeah, this second half is just flat out. Compared to the rest of the circuits on the game, this is like the longest straights that you'll find. So it is kind of like the Daytona road course around here. Now, with this being an endurance race, 12 laps, we're gonna basically be making a pit stop around halfway for tires and fuel. And it does appear that the pit box is gonna be where your grid spot is. So if you are last on the grid, you're gonna have the very first pit box. So something to keep in mind when you come down pit road, to be ready for that, because we're in full control of the car the entire way. And then they actually don't tell you when to go. So they'll go ahead and swap those tires for you, and they'll fuel up the car, and you can drive away at any time, which means you can leave before they're done fueling. I think in this case we're going to want to take a full tank, because it's showing we only have about 5 laps of fuel. So once we come across the line here, we'll be able to get maybe to lap 7 or 8. Side by side, and look at Tino. Wow, what a run that he had. Gave us a little tap. But we're up into 9th. So see if we can catch these guys ahead, but we can see here the slipstream is going to be very difficult to catch up to them if we don't have it. And looking at the mini-map, there are some kind of separation that are forming in the field. With these 3 up ahead, and then it looks like the rest of the leaders, and then the 3 that we're trailing with, although they are catching, and we are catching, so maybe we can form back up as we complete lap 3. I really do like these little GT4 cars. They seem pretty neat. We're in a rental, so that does mean we do receive like a reduced payout, but that's okay. And you know, that's something that can be fixed by just purchasing one of the cars, and they're not too expensive, so maybe after this race we can afford one. Alright, so we're still just outside of being fully caught up, although now after the final corner we definitely are. We'll go to the inside here for 8th. A little bit of contact, but we get the position. That wasn't too bad. And kind of catching up to the front pack as well, it looks like. And that's the most important one to catch up to. I'm really glad though that Sachsenring has made it into this game, because I honestly think it's a wonderful circuit. It's a little technical, maybe a little too technical in that first sector, but at the same time, it has like no participation on iRacing, so hopefully this will just give it a little bit more attention as we complete a pretty fast lap. And we're gonna probably have to pit at the end of this lap unless we fuel save, which is not what you would be expecting to do in iRacing Arcade. I mean, we fuel save all the time in iRacing, but now in the arcade world, well, fuel saving yet again. Now Marco will get to the inside here. It kind of came off the racing line, but he was going to be faster than us anyways with the slipstream. We're able to hold him off as well. So that's pretty sweet. And we'll go ahead and, I think, box this lap. Assuming Marco will let us get to the inside, and there we go. There we go, first box. So we get stopped. And now we'll watch the lap counter down there. We need 6 laps, so we'll just hold until we get about 6.4, and away we go. You definitely have to watch and make sure that you get enough fuel, because I have definitely driven off without taking too much fuel. Alright, so we'll go ahead and pick up a position there from Melina. And Alexandros was a part of that lead group. It looks like he's fallen back. So we've moved up, but Alexandros has fallen back from that lead group of 4. We'll see if we can catch them and maybe work with them. Actually, it's a lead group of 3, isn't it? Looks like. Alright, we'll pass them here into the final corner. And then let's see if he can leapfrog us. He didn't, which is fine. Doing a pretty good job, but Melina gives us a little tap in the right rear and gets by. Side by side through there, unintentionally. I apologize. Okay. We need to catch that top 3. And we've got plenty of time to do it. We just got to work together, and unfortunately I couldn't give Melina a push. Didn't quite do it right. But we'll go ahead and complete lap 8. 4 laps to go. I feel like this is plenty of time, but we've got to be damn near perfect because miss that apex. The AI, they are ruthless. They'll just go right for it. This is basically flat out. And same, I think, for the final corner. Three laps to go. Wow, Melina, that's not necessary. It looks like we're going to be doomed here to battle for 4th. I mean, there's just not much doing. We're not able to get organized. We're not catching. Even if we had a way to measure it, I don't think it's enough. But we're definitely, it doesn't look like we're catching. Okay. So 2 laps to go. Marco is behind us now. This looks like a really good lap so far. Like, we know what we're doing. And then I run wide right there. Oh, no. Okay, but yep, we look like we're going to finish in 4th in this one. So, not a bad start. I mean, of course, we haven't finished in 4th just yet, but we're gonna hold off Melina. Like, we know we are. Whatever it takes, we'll keep the position. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting championship here. You know, we get some pit stops, we get some ebb and some flow. But at a track like this, where slipstream is so very important, that as soon as you kind of lose that lead pack, jeez, Melina, but that it's very hard to catch. And in this case, those guys are not battling hard enough, and they just continue to pull the gap, it looks like. So, so Melina, we can go ahead and let her by. We don't have any other company. It's just her. Maybe that's what we should have been doing all along. You see how quickly we get her back. Now we're side by side going into the final corner, but with the inside line. Should be okay. Coming out of the final corner. And we do hold on to 4th in the IMSA Pilot Endurance Championship. In the rental vehicle as well. Not bad. So P4 for us here, no podium celebration or anything fancy like that, but at least we were pretty competitive. And we had a good race. All right, we can go ahead and end that race week. Move on to the managing page, and garage? Yes. Okay, so we go to the garage. We can buy a car here. I'm going to go ahead and purchase the... Oh, it's a touring car that we're in, actually. So it's not a GT4 specific. It's a touring car. All right, well, we will purchase that. So that way we don't have to use a rental vehicle any longer. And we go ahead and start race week 2. So it looks like we have another Fiat 500. This one at Lime Rock Park. And we did finish in 3rd. So we'll be starting towards the back. And Glass Rocket. Whoa. Let's try it. Let's try Glass Rocket and Slipstream 1. This could go really, really poorly, but I have no idea what to expect with Glass Rocket. The cars already don't take too much damage, and we're starting towards the back of the field. So a little bit of a boost here, well, that might just help us. Maybe we'd be a little bit more careful, but starting in 10th, away we go. Alright, so now into turn 1. Alongside Tane, so we'll keep a very close eye on our health, basically. But also, we'll get significant slipstream boost, so if we can just slip on by and get in line, we should be very, very fast down this start straight. And indeed we are. Look at this. It's almost like we're in a different weight class. There's so much contact here, we have to be careful. We're still at 100%. Look like we're on a formation lap. It's incredible. But I gotta slow down. A little bit of door to door. We're pushing Marta to the line. 1 lap to go. I'm gonna go for it to the inside. And can't quite clear her, but just about. There we go. Good enough. P1. Oh, we're still at 100 though. So we worked our way through the field. A little bit of contact here and there. A little bit of trading paint. Now Tane is going to get right up on our right rear. Not quite alongside. And we're going to out-drag him to the line. And we have won our first Fiat 500 race. Pretty neat. So we will take P1 in the standings as well, it looks like. Awesome. We were rather fast in that race. The guy with the fastest lap, though, so Toru, actually finishes in dead last, so only 1.5 seconds behind me. That's crazy. Alright, so P1 at Lime Rock. How cool is that? Now we move on to the IMSA Endurance at Tsukuba. I wonder if there's a penalty to withdrawing, but I don't want to find out. Alright, so we do get a comeback boost that we can equip to the car. So we'll go ahead and add that. And we'll go ahead and get started from where? 8th? Is that where it's going to be? Yep. It will be in 8th place. Alright, so another 12-lap race. Here we go. We get a really good launch off the line. And we'll go ahead and pick up a couple more positions. Already up to 6th. Just barely. Took some damage, but nothing major. Now, around here, actually, I don't think that the fuel usage is that much. So we'll only be needing about 2 laps of fuel on our stop. So maybe we see a wider range of the pit stop phase. Let's see. But with that in mind, there is tire wear. I don't know how much of an effect the tire wear truly has. Can't really tell. I don't know if it's affecting lap time or if it affects handling or anything like that. But we may still want to come in about halfway. But technically, the window is open as of now. Now we'll go ahead and join the fight for the top 3. Try to get underneath through the hairpin, and now heading down to the next hairpin. Ooh, Song gives us a bump. And just that little bit of a nose ahead gives me a boost because it registers as us being overtaken. And Tino holds us off through the final corner, but not quite into turn 1. Now Song on our bumper. Grab the apex and head on out. Not bad. Very quickly up into P1. It seems like once you get used to the physics and everything, the game isn't that complicated, of course. I really do like the handling, and it's pretty intuitive overall as far as like the responsiveness and the grip and just how the cars behave. It's a little weird at first because when you get to these corners that you're used to braking for from iRacing, sometimes you don't need to brake for them. You actually just need to lift out of the throttle, and doing that actually turns the car way more than you end up needing. So at some circuits like Imola, where there are a lot of chicanes, you're going to end up cutting a lot because, well, you're lifting and braking like you think you're supposed to, and the car just turns more than what you think. But anyways, we have some company here. Kaylee's caught up to us, and she's going to get by into turn 1, so it's nice to at least have some company. Sometimes it is lonely at the top. As we just are approaching halfway, we'll see if anybody comes into pit. It won't be me, but we'll see. Oh wow, yep. Pretty much the whole field coming in. I'm actually surprised to see everybody all at once coming down pit road. So I will pit this lap here because I don't want to just run the race all by myself. That wouldn't be very fun, even though it may be quicker to stay out of the traffic. Now we'll see if our pit box is like early on. No, it's not. Thankfully, whoops, thankfully we can run these people over. Okay, we took plenty of fuel there, more than we needed. And we'll go ahead and rejoin in third. Alright, so we have some work to do to catch back up to the leader. But at least we didn't lose too much time. And we have a few laps to get it done. But yeah, the handling I think is pretty intuitive overall. I really like the art, the tracks themselves, the environment, just everything about it. The game looks very inviting. As far as the career mode goes, it's very simplistic. I think it just seems like you go from one race to the next, one race to the next, one race to the next. You don't really have to manage much. Especially when it comes to like a rental vehicle or anything like that, you don't necessarily have to take care of that rental vehicle. So any damage that you do to the car, you don't have to worry about it for next week. It doesn't really cost you anything. And then the championships themselves, I did not do well at all for, season 1. Like, I was terrible in season 1. Pretty much all of the championships. I think I did pretty okay in the Fiat 500, but then all of the other championships, I basically finished in last, or around there, like 10th. And I still got promoted every single time. I don't know if that feels right. So it does kind of devalue like a sense of progression, showing that there really isn't much detail. Like, there's no goal in the season. Like, do you want to make it to the top tiers? Well, you just have to play the game. You don't actually have to perform in those tiers. So it does kind of devalue, I guess, the progression aspect of the career mode in that regard. It felt weird to move on to the next tier when I didn't do well in the one that I was already in. But anyways, White flag is out. We are not catching up to Kaylee. She is flying. So she's got her touring car pretty hooked up, it looks like. She's nailing every apex. And we just don't have anything for her, it looks like. So it looks like we're going to take home second place, which is totally fine. We finished fourth in round 1 here, and now finishing second in round 2. We should be doing pretty good in the championship, unless Kaylee is going to take the lead. Let's find out. All right. So we did move up from fourth in the standings up to second. We had a really good race overall, but it looks like Kaylee taking home P1. Her best time was 3/10 quicker than us, so she was rather fast. And looking at the standings, she finished second last race, so she is 8 points ahead of us. All right, well, another podium celebration. P2 it is. We'll move on to next week. And we are looking pretty good in the wallet as well. So we're going to go to our... what do we want to do? We'll go to the chassis shop here. No, actually, we have to level up our levels here, actually. We're not quite a high enough level. It says we need to be like team level 6. We're very close to that. Not quite there. So we'll go for one more week with the tools that we have available to us. Plus 40 grip on the first lap. We'll do glass rocket and engine power. But what did I just choose? What was that for? I don't even know. Alright, so we'll do the Fiat 500 challenge. We are in the lead here. Yeah, I don't know what I chose, or maybe it was just showing me what they were. We'll go engine power and glass rocket 1. Is what we'll go for, because Glass Rocket treated us very well last time, and we'll go to, what is it called? Sugar Hill, which is really just Watkins Glen. Alright, starting from the very back, we have 3 laps to get from last to first. See if we can do it with our power-ups. We should be able to. This is a very fast circuit with some tight corners. Few hairpins. Going up this hill, the horsepower is very important. It seems like the car definitely bogs down, or at least stops accelerating. Now coming down the hill, we are fast. And 4 wide. Marta, oof, into the barrier. And we're stuck on Satoru. So, terrible first lap. We've gone absolutely nowhere. Trying to get our positions here on this lap is going to be difficult. The laps are very short and there aren't a lot of corners, actually. Okay, we get 1 position from Victor. Maciela and Leah off the track. Leah kind of making sure we don't get the position, and there's not much I could really do. Unfortunately, we're getting stuck, and it's amazing with these power-ups. It doesn't seem very easy to make up ground here at this circuit. We'll give Elaine a push. Knock into Lawrence. We're still at 100%. So Glass Rocket really isn't much of a penalty, is it? Now trying to get a lunge on Elaine. A little bit of contact, but we are through. Satoru off the track. So we get that position as well. We're up to 5th. And maybe push them off the track, but now up to the inside for P2. And there's Tane, who actually started in 11th, didn't he? We're going to finish just behind him in 2nd. That was a good race. That was actually a really good race. Given we didn't have the best of first laps. That was really almost a 2-lap race for us. And we had fastest lap. How cool. So with that race in the books, we are still P1, but only by 3 points. So Tane is our championship rival going forward. We'll celebrate that P2, but we know it's not going to be so easy in the future. Looks like we've unlocked level 2 basically for our facilities, so we can do that after this round. Stage 3 of the IMSA arcade is going to go to Bahrain. How cool is that? Alright, so we have some tire sauce. We'll go ahead and use that since that's all we've got. Even though that's only going to boost us on the first lap. Alright, so Bahrain. I know it's coming to iRacing, but not quite there yet, so this is exciting to see. We will be starting in 11th. We get a really good launch here. We've got to make the most of this first lap. This tire boost is only for this first lap, so... Now Bahrain, plenty of corners with it being an F1 circuit and everything. So this is interesting to see because they kind of do away with the straights, it seems. And this is really cramped. Oh my goodness. But obviously a lot of overtaking opportunities. So that's good. I feel like with the previous circuit, with all of those straights, you would think that there would be overtake opportunities, but there weren't as many braking zones. Oh no, I've cut the corner. We had too much grip. Alright, so we end the first lap up to 4th. Kaylee's come with us. She's our championship rival in this championship. And she kind of cut there. She was trying to pass, but there was no room. I didn't do that. Wasn't my fault. Ooh, a little bit wide. Sand really slows you down in this game, or just any off track does. Love to see the crowd going crazy. Aim for Melina. What is that lunge? Alright. 2 laps in the books. We check our fuel. We have 7 laps of fuel. So we'll come in on lap 6 like we typically do. But we don't need to save or anything in order to get there. We have plenty of fuel. We basically track down P3, Naoto. We'll have an opportunity here to get ourselves up to the podium. And with all the slipstream down to turn 1, we have a look. Hard on the brakes, a little bit of contact, and yeah, we get our penalty there. So a failed overtake. And that's going to cost us big time. I think something similar happened with the battle for the lead, and now the leader has got a huge gap to Song in second. This battle continues to heat up. More cars basically get to join in. Alright, it's going to be a very quick pit lane there, so we have to keep that in mind when it's time to pit, that we don't miss pit lane. Back up into 4th. Alright, looking good, looking good. We're keeping up with the leader overall, it looks like. Like, Song is keeping up with Marco, and we're keeping up with Elaine, who's keeping up with Song. So we're all keeping in touch with the leader. And we're completing lap 5, so not this time, but next time we'll come into pit. It looks like Song really, truly is catching. So, we're looking good, I think, with our overall pace, even though we don't have any bonuses or any boosts active. That first lap really helped us out, but we're having a competitive race. Don't do that. Put in on the black stuff, yeah? So I'm very happy to be competitive here without needing any boosts. Alright, here we go. Let's come into pit. Okay, we're on pit road. We're in early box. I didn't think I got stopped very quickly there. And did I take enough fuel? I did. Did not. Oh no, we're short on fuel. Okay, we have 5.6 laps of fuel. We're gonna have to stretch that. Will I be able to save fuel in iRacing Arcade? Did I mess up? Unfortunately, I don't think you can come in for just a splash and dash, so we may have screwed it up. We'll see. It would be nice if I can catch those guys ahead and use them for slipstream, but 4.7 laps. Big lift and coast into turn 1. In an arcade game, mind you. Okay, Marco must have made a mistake I didn't really see. And now Song is in the lead, and now we're a lot closer to Marco. Okay, so we have 4.0 laps right now. We'll see exactly what it's like at the line. It's 3.7, so we didn't really save much. We may have to make another pit stop, unfortunately. Can't believe it. I'd hope if I could take a better line through some of these corners. No! Wow, Molina. Nice move. Okay, so I'm just lifting and coasting down this whole straight, just about. I was giving it like half throttle. And same here. So we're just really relying on the power of slipstream and power of friendship. Not sure if Molina considers me to be her friend. I just don't think we can afford to finish last. But she's basically driven away, so we're not getting that same effect this time around. But 1.8. So just trying to keep up. Get that slipstream. So close to making it. Heard Marco go side by side through the final corner. It doesn't slow up Marco enough. But 1.0 right here. I'm not pitting. We're just gonna save the fuel here. Rune's back there in 5th, what I can tell. Couldn't find our championship rival there. That very quick look, but okay, do we sputter at the line or do we just completely come to a stop? Rune will drive by. We got some slipstream, and we can't get the position back. We finished 5th. But at least we finished the race. Ah, man. So our series standing will drop after that. Not a podium finish. But 5th isn't the end of the world. Kaylee actually finished in 9th. So who's our new championship leader? It is going to be Song. Okay. And Melina actually takes 3rd from us, I guess, even though we're really tied for 3rd. So losing that last position at the line maybe hurt us more than we anticipated. But it's better than the alternative. So if we go to week 3 management, here what I would like to do is upgrade our engine shop. We're not upgrading, actually. We're building a new one. Okay. Decorations first. I want to put it next to... I don't know. Whatever. Anyways. So engine shop, we buy a tier 2, or... I don't know how this works. Oops. Do we demolish the tier 1, or do we keep the tier 1? I don't know. Alright, race week 4. So, come back, slipstream, and secret storage. Cool. Oh. So, some reserve fuel. That would have been nice last race. Alright, so the Fiat Championship here. Tane is pretty much our only rival. He's the only one we have to worry about. So, we're going to go ahead and use comeback. And then we're going to go ahead and use slipstream. I don't really care about the fuel in this race. So here we go. Right, can we win our first championship? We get an amazing launch. We're already alongside Tane before we head to turn 1. And we are through. So up to 11th. I know the AI is very physical around here, especially when they get stuck together like they did just right in that corner. And we'll go ahead and take advantage of, you know, the nature of the racing. Move on up to 8th. That's why I say, like, I'm just as guilty as the AI, you know, using the bumper to get by, but they can be pretty ruthless too. We'll get alongside Victor, and look at the slipstream. God, we're so quick. Now up to 6th. And they are side by side. Again, looking like a formation lap. You see, they often do get stuck to each other in that corner. And Victor not giving us any room. Lots of contact. And Tane's here the whole way, so we still have a championship fight on our hands. Move up to 2nd, moving Victor out of the way. And now Marta down the road. She's going to lead us to the white flag. Leah may be giving us a little bit of a helping hand. See if we can catch Marta here. Have plenty of time to do so. Tane's back and forth. We can get slipstream. We can win this race. And Marta looks like she's going to drive away with it as we come down to the final corner. Marta will win the final round of the Fiat 500 Championship, but we will take the crown of the championship. Not bad. So it looks like Tane actually finished in 5th, so it wasn't a bad race by any means, but Tane unfortunately didn't really challenge us in this race. And with that, yep, we 2nd on the podium, but we actually win the championship. How cool. For the first time in our young career, we are the champion. Cool. Looks like our team is leveling up as well, and geez, a lot of goals being completed there. So level 7, And a couple variations of trophies, so that's cool as well. We'll head to Lime Rock Park for the final round, no, round 4 of 6 actually, so this championship will continue on after this week. So we are in 3rd, Song will take P1, and we're tied for 3rd. Kaylee is in 2nd, so let's go ahead and head out onto the racetrack then. Our fancy touring car, secret storage, that would have been lovely last race. And let's head to the grid. Alright, so Lime Rock Park. 12 laps around here will go by very, very quickly. As we start 9th on the grid. Means we're ahead of, the championship rivals, Melina and Kaylee and Song. We've got some work to do. We got to catch these cars ahead. For some reason, we are already falling back a little. Lime Rock Park having that long straight means slipstream is important. But throughout the rest of the lap, it's, maybe not the biggest of deal, but it's still very important here, isn't it? Oh, Elaine goes off the track, stays out of the barriers. We'll shoot up the inside. And Kaylee pulls up to our bumper. Those guys side by side up ahead. That helps catch. 25 seconds a lap, yeah? So this is a really quick racetrack. And, I mean, they're just pulling us away right now. 24.6 that was, and now Song pulls up to our bumper. The trading places back there, when they're side by side through that first sector, that really helps us. Tino off the track, up the inside we go, P7. Now, lap 4 complete, so we actually have enough fuel to finish this race. So I'll make a pit stop if they make a pit stop. But I actually wonder if our power-up, the fuel power-up, if that's being calculated, or if we really just truly have enough fuel to finish this race. Yeah, we are in the hornet's nest here. So yeah, if they pit this lap, I will as well, just in the interest of fairness. But I'd have to imagine we all can make it to the end because we have plenty of fuel. So let's see, lap 6. Normally when they pit, they'll stay out. Cool. So this one is just a one stint. I was going to say sprint, but I guess it's technically an endurance. Now we're battling with Marco for the lead of the race, and Song, our championship leader, is here as well. So even if we win this race, we may not take a lead over the championship depending on how Song shakes out. And Melina as well is keeping paces. I don't see Kaylee anywhere, so she's not doing so well. Her first 2 rounds was not necessarily a sign of things to come. We got a really good speed boost when Song put his nose ahead of us. That counted as an overtake. And now we got Marco all to ourselves. To the inside of turn 1. And that was a very clean overtake. He's trying to get us back already. Kind of ran wide, and Song's going to get by as well. So we go from 1st to 3rd. Back to 2nd? No, still in 3rd. Back to 2nd. Stay on the track, please. We're locked in. And Melina. Oh, we get stuck on Melina. No. And Melina forced Marco off as well. And oh my goodness, Nadine out of nowhere. We have 2 laps to go, and now Song is way down the road. So 2 laps to go. They have to be like our absolute best laps. Even have a chance. Song really is down the road, unfortunately. So we'll take a look at our mirror, and yeah, a little far away, isn't he? So the battle's on for second. I closed the door on Tino a little late. But it looks like we're going to bring this one home in second, assuming everything all works out here. Through the final corner. Song will take round 4, and we will take P2. Well, pretty good race up until I think it was Melina that made that lunge and just kind of screwed everything up for us, but all things considered, still a good finish. And now we are 11 points down on Song. We moved back up to second in the standings, but that was a very big race for him and his championship prospects. 15 races complete without penalties. I don't even know how you get one, to be honest, at this point, besides those time penalties. But manage week 4, so we'll go ahead and we'll build a chassis shop. We'll go tier 2. We'll go ahead and slap that bad boy down and see what that brings us. Level up to level 8. Awesome. And then we got Team HQ, actually. Alright, so we can enter in this IMSA Pilot series, which isn't an endurance series, and then this endurance series continues on for 2 more weeks. I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here, and we'll continue this on in the future. This was a lot of fun. There are some things, of course, that iRacing Arcade does leave to be desired, but, well, I hope and anticipate that they'll continue to work on those things. In the meantime, I appreciate you guys checking it out. Leave a like, subscribe, whatever you want to do to let me know that you enjoyed it, or if you didn't, you can let me know as well. But again, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you all around.